But them when they win, I criticize them when they're messing up in an effort to make sure that you don't do it again. I'm not wishing anybody to fail, but I have to call it how I see it, because I have an audience to answer to. These players, I don't get paid to talk.
Individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for.
LeBron James is officially caught up in a storm that no one saw coming. The sports world is frozen in disbelief as federal agents reportedly raid his mansions in both Los Angeles and Ohio, uncovering evidence that this mess runs far deeper than basketball ever could. The shocking sting, dubbed Operation Nothing But Bet, has turned the NBA upside down overnight.
First indictment involves 6 defendants. This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams.
What started as a quiet investigation into possible insider betting has exploded into one of the wildest scandals in league history. Agents are now following trails of shady money transfers, encrypted messages, and leaked player data. And every single lead seems to circle right back to the man everyone once thought was untouchable. The first crack in this wild story hit hard when LeBron's close friend and former teammate Damon Jones got slapped with a full-blown indictment. And that's when everything flipped upside down. Court records exposed that Jones had been secretly feeding private injury details before major Lakers matchups, including one against the Bucks in February 2023 and another versus the Thunder in January 2024. In one shocking message, prosecutors claim Jones told a contact to get a big bet on Milwaukee tonight. Just hours later, LeBron mysteriously sat out that exact game with an ankle issue, and the Bucks cruised to an easy win. What started as a clear-cut case against Jones quickly exploded when federal agents started knocking on LeBron's doors in both LA and Ohio.
More breaking news this morning. 2 big names in the NBA among more than 30 people arrested in connection with federal investigation into sports betting and illegal gambling.
According to reports, FBI teams stormed in and seized phones, laptops, and stacks of financial records, all to trace possible links between Jones's betting ring and a high-profile money network tied to LeBron himself. While no official charges have been filed yet, fans are already losing it, asking the million-dollar question, was LeBron just a bystander or part of something way bigger? FBI agents reportedly raided LeBron's homes in both LA and Ohio, snatching up devices, hard drives, and stacks of financial files, desperately searching for any trace that might connect his accounts to Damon Jones's underground betting ring. The player in question? LeBron himself. No official charges yet, but whispers in the sports world are getting louder by the minute, hinting he might be way more than a simple bystander. Here's where things take a shocking turn. The FBI's latest findings flipped the narrative completely. The NBA swore up and down that LeBron had no clue about Jones's side hustle, even telling The Athletic that their bond was purely personal. But as investigators dug deeper, the story started to crack. Federal documents now show that agents weren't just tailing Jones anymore. They were tracking his private communications with LeBron himself.
Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra, to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese.
And then came the jaw dropper. LeBron James's name officially appeared on the warrant. Fans everywhere began asking, why raid his homes if he's only a witness? To make things even crazier, the warrants mentioned coordination of privileged information, a phrase usually reserved for major conspiracy cases. Adding to the chaos, that key Bucks game took place just 2 days after LeBron shattered Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record. The very night of his massive celebration, he suddenly sat out, with Jones allegedly selling his betting tip at the same time. Intentional or not, that timing looks way too sketchy. And as if that wasn't enough, the NBA is already drowning in an integrity crisis, with big names like Chauncey Billups and Miami's Terry Rozier caught in the same Operation Nothing But Bet. So when footage leaked showing FBI trucks outside LeBron's Brentwood mansion, the internet completely lost its mind.
Interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence.
Some fans brushed it off as fallout from Damon Jones's mess, but legal insiders weren't fooled for a second. The FBI doesn't storm a witness's home unless there's something big hiding beneath the surface. LeBron's team stayed silent, issuing only a polished statement claiming they were fully cooperating. But many insiders read that as quiet code for behind-the-scenes negotiations still underway. Sources close to the case claim agents confiscated encrypted tablets and other high-security devices tied to LeBron's inner circle, possibly containing schedules, private jet logs, and travel data going all the way back to 2022, right when Jones began shadowing the Lakers. And now, whispers say the betting scandal might be just the top layer of a much deeper operation. Investigators are allegedly mapping hidden links between Jones, Hollywood insiders, and LeBron's extended network. One analyst even put it bluntly, Operation Nothing But BET isn't only about gambling. It's about potential money laundering bleeding through sports and entertainment. With brand deals, charity events, and sponsorship cash all mixing together, there's more than enough room for shady money trails.
Same kind of extortion that we heard when Cassie took the stand and testified on that airplane ride back from France. Diddy said, "You don't do a freak off, I'm going to release one of the freak off videos that you are profiled in and humiliate."
Meanwhile, LeBron's trying to act unfazed, showing up courtside in LA rocking a bright floral cardigan, laughing like nothing's wrong. But insiders say the pressure behind the scenes is crushing him. He's quietly canceled interviews, scaled back appearances, and tightened his travel schedule while the Lakers organization holds its breath for answers. And just as the world demands clarity about the money, the bets, and those encrypted messages, investigators have shifted their spotlight towards something way darker. They're reportedly digging into LeBron's private connections with a man already serving time for orchestrating notorious freak-off gatherings involving top Hollywood figures. That's where this story takes a truly chilling turn. The probe, the rumors, the secrecy, and it's exactly where this twisted saga continues next. The music mogul's empire had already crumbled, and now one of basketball's biggest icons was suddenly being linked to that same dark scene almost overnight. An old Instagram Live resurfaced showing LeBron laughing next to that very mogul saying, "Ain't no party like his party." It looked innocent back then, but now the clip is being dissected frame by frame like it's a smoking gun. Online sleuths are slowing every second, zooming in on LeBron's tone, his smirk, his body language, asking if there was more to that moment than anyone realized. While LeBron hasn't been accused of any crime, whispers from inside the investigation claim his name appeared in discussions about exclusive guest lists tied to those infamous private gatherings, described in federal court as being far darker than the glamorous scenes once flaunted online.
That he has with others, and just because no one else has been charged, which normally in a RICO case you would have others charged, it was a statute that designed to get mob bosses, trying to get at criminal behavior that's like a web of criminal behavior that you can't necessarily prove, like the one thing or the statute of limitations expired on the other thing, but you're just showing this bad guy who's operating what's clearly an enterprise that over and over engages in criminal problems.
LeBron's legal team has gone completely silent, and the Lakers organization refuses to comment, but that silence only makes the tension grow louder. Just as agents raided his homes, prosecutors widened Operation Nothing But BET, digging into financial data tied to the same mogul's business network. Internal notes even hint at cross-referenced ledgers, suggesting that the same intermediaries may have been moving both Jones's betting cash and entertainment money tied to the mogul's empire. Then investigators spotted something shocking, an overlap between financial transfers and private guest lists. Behind the scenes, PR teams are in meltdown mode while sponsors are freezing partnerships overnight. Two major brands have already paused deals, and NBA insiders aren't whispering about Jones anymore. They're asking what LeBron really knew about those secret parties. Sources close to the entertainment circle now claim a former event promoter saw LeBron's name pop up in private coordination messages dating back to 2018. Though those files remain sealed, another insider insists FBI analysts uncovered contact logs from the mogul's security staff, mentioning multiple top-tier athletes, and yes, LeBron's name was reportedly one of them. None of it's been officially confirmed, but online investigators are already treating it like an open case file. Fans are connecting screenshots, texts, and cryptic comments into elaborate theories that are spreading like wildfire. Sources claim several messages seized during the FBI raid on LeBron's mansion are now being analyzed for possible links to secret events in Los Angeles and Miami. Some even containing encrypted chats allegedly tied to the mogul's management team.
Now for some of the biggest trending stories you'll want to know today. Sports legend. People call him the GOAT. LeBron James taking an excused absence from the basketball season. This, as resurfaced video, is being examined.
And whether those conversations were strictly business or something far more personal remains unclear. But in this climate, even silence feels suspicious. LeBron's reputation for fierce loyalty has always defined him. He never forgets the people who climbed with him from Akron streets to global superstardom. That loyalty built a brotherhood that's followed him to every team, every city. Unbreakable, unfiltered, and according to investigators, maybe a little too trusting. Reports now suggest some of his longtime friends, men with no official team roles, were often seen at practices, team hotels, and even traveling with the Lakers, blurring the line between personal and professional life. Staff members who questioned their access were reportedly told the same thing every time. If LeBron wants them there, they stay. It was part of his image, the self-made superstar who never forgot his roots. But with Operation Nothing But BT heating up, that loyalty is now under the microscope. Federal agents are reportedly studying whether LeBron's trust in old friends like Damon Jones or certain high-profile entertainment figures might have accidentally opened the door for private information to leak beyond the team's walls. Even some of LeBron's former teammates are whispering that he'd been warned for years about keeping risky company, especially with people tied to questionable money moves. But LeBron? He's always lived by a code, loyalty above everything. And now that very code might be the thing that blinded him to those who used his trust for their own gain. Psychologists say fame at LeBron's level can twist the line between friendship and dependence until it's nearly invisible. The same people meant to protect him might also be the ones quietly exposing him. Experts point out that under nonstop pressure, superstars often build echo chambers where criticism disappears and loyalty becomes law. And in LeBron's world, that loyalty was everything until it started to crack. The FBI's deep dive into his communication logs suggests that his once solid inner circle may be far more fragile than anyone realized. Investigators reportedly believe that loyalty itself could be the missing piece, the invisible thread linking the insider betting ring, entertainment money, and the personal relationships that pulled him closer to that mogul's world. For those close to the investigation, this isn't just a story about greed. It's about a man so devoted to his circle that he never drew the line between trust and risk. That loyalty, amplified by fame and power, might be the very reason agents are now combing through his most private digital files.
For them when they win, I criticize them when they're messing up in an effort to make sure that you don't do it again. I'm not wishing anybody to fail, but I have to call it how I see it because I have an audience to answer to. These players, I don't get paid to talk. Father, great husband, great philanthropist, great businessman, great director, great producer, great host, great basketball player, great leader. I mean, my God, I have done everything but put diapers and a bib on this brother. But it ain't enough because one thing matters to him and one thing only, and that's him being recognized as the greatest of all times. Well, you're not in my...
The story has officially shifted from basketball to secrecy. For nearly 2 decades, LeBron James was the poster child of discipline and control, the athlete who never slipped, never stumbled, and always stayed untouchable. But now, that flawless image is showing cracks. Analysts say his quiet retreat from major charity events screams damage control. One LAPR insider put it plainly: when a brand as spotless as LeBron suddenly goes silent, it's because the lawyers are the only ones talking. Meanwhile, conspiracy chatter is exploding online. Theories are linking Operation Nothing But BT to the mogul's case through hidden accounts, shell companies, and fundraisers disguised as luxury parties. None of it's confirmed, but every newly unsealed document sends fans spiraling deeper, comparing flight logs, cross-checking dates, and pointing out every moment LeBron appeared in the same cities tied to those events. Through all the noise, he stays completely silent. No interviews, no statements, no posts, nothing. What once looked like calm confidence now feels eerily calculated. For years, LeBron James built his empire on perfection. Every move planned, every image controlled. But suddenly, that empire looks more fragile than ever. LeBron built the entire blueprint for modern fame. Every headline, every move, every brand deal executed like clockwork. But now, that same empire is shaking under the weight of federal subpoenas and the dark whispers coming from the entertainment world he was once so closely tied to. The question on everyone's mind, was his loyalty pushed too far, or are we watching the first signs of a massive cover-up about to blow wide open? The full truth hasn't surfaced yet, but when it does, it could completely rewrite what fame really means. So what do you think actually went down behind the scenes? Is LeBron's silence just a smart legal strategy, or is he hiding something deeper? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear what you believe about this wild saga. And hey, don't forget to smash that like button, share the video, and if you're new here, subscribe for more untold stories from the world of fame and hoops. See you next time.